Well, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm making this Himeko guide because since 2.3 is out, she got a lot of indirect buff, being a new Lycon, new planet set, and hypothetically a new Relics set as well. And of course, with the new patches, always a bunch of new players that doesn't really know how to play the game and got Himeko and probably don't know how to build she. So if you're like one of those people, I got news for you, this video for you. But before I continue onward, of course, can you just subscribe to the channel because it'll mean the world to me if we can get 900 subscribers. And also, why not join my Discord server if you just want to talk to me or anyone in my community. Okay, that's enough begging. But anyways, while we're doing it, I'll be discussing what Himeko does, her best Lycons, her relic, teams, her Eidolons, and things you really need to consider with Himeko. So yeah, we should probably get started now, shall we?
Our journey is the process of pulling apart the threads of possibility.
Alright, so Himeko is a 5-star Air Edition fire character from the standard banner who just want to make the world burn and flex the fact that she's rich as fuck. Her basic attack is a basic attack. You won't really do too much unless you need to generate skill points. Her skill hit 3 enemies on the field and dealing blast damage, so meaning she's not the best but can at least hold her own in like some type of single target situation. And deals a pretty respectable chunk of damage. Then you have a technique where it's pretty cool. It put this ring around the enemies and for like 2 turns you do a little more damage, but like the bulk of Himeko damage comes from her talent and ultimate. Her talent Victory Rush is a follow-up attack that deals AoE damage that hits everything in the field, and how to trigger it is by breaking the enemy's shield with either Himeko or anyone in your party. On Himeko character, you will see the stack going from 0/3 and to stack it up with breaking shield. So if you break a trash enemy shield, you get 1 stack, and if you stack it 3 times, you trigger the follow attack. But if you manage to break either a elite or a boss shield, you will immediately get 3 stacks to that trigger the follow-up attack. So like that is something you shouldn't sleep on, especially like in pure fiction. And then we have Himeko Ultimate, which has one of the coolest animation in the game, but also at the same time that ultimate hits like a truck if it hits like 5 enemies. And obviously for the priority, the talent is a big part because in like pure fiction you'll be triggering out a lot, then the ultimate, then followed by the skill, and lastly you can level up the basic attack if you want to. And then you have Himeko bonus talent. The first one basically, if you hit any enemy, there's a 50% chance to burn them. The next one, if you hit an enemy that burn with Himeko skill, it does increase damage, so very nice. And lastly, when Himeko is over 80% of her max HP, she get a free 15% crit rate, which is like 3 to 4 subs that you will get from Relics, so that's just nice to have. And like the main way you'll be playing, she try to trigger her follow-up attacks as much time as you can while using the ultimate to make she like a ult spam for FAU unit, which you will always be using she in pure fiction, but in some cases you can definitely use her in MOC, and especially in this new MOC right now. But pure fiction is where she really shines at though. So now you know how Himeko works, we should probably give she a Lycon now, shall we? So let's move on.
I have something for you.
So like Himeko best Lycon is before dawn, genuine Lycon, just because any unit that does forward attack, genuine Lycon is any Air Edition character that can do forward attacks best LC by default. Gives you a high amount of crit damage, increase your skill and ultimate damage, and of course your follow-up damage as well. But if you don't have that Lycon, there's still tons of options. You have her signature that gives you attack based on how much enemies on the field, stacking up to 5 times, giving you around 35 attack for free. And if you break the enemy shield, you get a free 30% elemental damage bonus. I can almost say they kind of suck, but in pure fiction this Lycon is completely broken because you have a full 100% uptime on the passive basically. And that Lycon pretty solid if you manage to get it, if you buy from the shop, lose it from your Lycon 50/50, or just get from the standard banner. It's a pretty solid Lycon. But then you have other options. You have the brand new Lycon you get from Simulated Universe. You can get the S5 immediately, and I give you a whole lot of attacks based on how much enemies you hit. And S1 hitting 5 enemies give you 20 attack, plus the base 8% attack you get off rip, and increasing your speed by 8% if you hit 3 enemies. That Lycon is pretty solid for any Air Edition in pure fiction. But if you don't have it because you're trying to get the other 2 Lycons for either your Poodle or Firefly, or you're like me who spent all his Herder bonds on wishes and didn't expect another Lycon to come out, like damn, you still have access to the other 2 free Air Edition Lycons you get, being the series of breakfast, giving you a whole lot of attack and damage bonus just for killing enemies. And then you have the daily Eon 4 fall, giving you attack, and some crit damage for hitting like 2 enemies. But I would say between the two of them, in pure fiction, the series of breakfast is better because the raw stats it gives have an 100% uptime because you always kill an enemy stacking up it. It's better the day that you on fall, but like in MOC, that icon pretty solid because you can always hit 2 enemies to get the crit damage buff. And lastly, you have the 2 gotcha options being Genius Repose and the Burst of Self. You won't really get much for the ultimate, but this is still a very solid option to go for, especially if you have super impositions on Burst of Self. But Genius Repose is such a broken icon as well, especially if you stack in super imposition on it because the amount of attack and crit damage is mad. Like you have tons of options, but if you're trying to figure out which one the best, obviously the one from Simulated Universe is by far like the best one for this, how much stats it can just give you and it is free. And if you like have like S5 of the gotcha option of either Genius Repose or Burst of Self, those are really competitive options as well. But if you have access to any of the 5-star icon being from Himeko or Genuine, obviously you would use that on Himeko for sure. But if you don't want to use your hitter bonds on that icon just because you're trying to get different icons and you don't have access to any of the gotcha options, or you're not lucky enough to get any of the 5-star icons, then go with a series of breakfast. That's just the best one overall for like pure fiction because you won't really use Himeko in MOC. And yeah, that's about it for the icons. Let's move on to the builds now.
Combat is a series of precise machinations.
Okay, for Himeko best relic, there's a few options like the fire set, but the problem with that set, though it could be a good set, is it's not really a worthwhile set to farm for because it paired up with the imaginary set and only Wealth uses that, and hell, even Wealth have better option nowadays, so that set's not really worth going for again. But what is a good set you can go for paired up with the DOT set is the Duke set. That increases your follow-up attack, while also if you do a follow-up attack, you get attack and you can easily stack up the pasta with Himeko. But then you have the new set that just came out, Wind Soaring. Like the 2-piece give you attack, but then the 4-piece is interesting. For one, it gives you 6% crit rate, and if you do a follow-up attack, for some reason your ultimate get increased by 36%. Which is honestly kind of ludicrous because for one, that ultimate, especially if you hit 5 targets, it's insane. But like I still think the Duke set will be good because it helps with your follow-up attack and your ultimate while your skill at the same time. But at the same time, if you want to see some big damage on your ultimate, that could be something to farm for, but most likely that set was more likely made for like Jade. And then for the Planet Ornament set, you have Inner Sorcerer, a pretty good set for character that does ultimate forward attack. That's just a really good set overall. But then you have like the Unclaimed Desolation set, which is a pretty good set, especially in pure fiction because one 40 crit damage for killing 10 enemies. That's just really good because you can always get that, and 40 crit damage is crazy. But then you have the Running Wolf set, which is kind of an interesting set because one, for using a follow attack, you gain these stacks and you can stack with a 5 times, giving you around 25% damage bonus. And once you reach that threshold, you get 25 crit damage for free. That's just ludicrous. And for which one to pick between the 3 of them, that can be difficult, but it kind of depends on which one you have better substats on basically. Because substats does matter more, but one thing you could do is, depending on who you're farming for, like if you're farming for Akron, you can just farm Unclaimed Desolation on the side for like your character for pure fiction. And vice versa for like if you're gonna go for farm for Firefly because her best Planet Ornament set is paired up with that new set too. So like just basically pick for like who's your main priority and then go from that and just get those pieces on the side so you can build them up on your Himeko or any follow attack unit. Then for like the pieces main stats, obviously the glove and helmet will be the same, but body piece will be crit rate or crit damage depending on which one you need more. Boots you want speed because for one you want to make Himeko quick, and then for the rope, attack, and for the all fire damage, and for the substats you want attack, speed, crit rate, and crit damage, and that's basically it. And yeah, that's it for Himeko best relic. Let's move on to the teams now.
Clear destination, because every passenger's destination is unique.
Like I would say like one of the biggest buff Himeko ever gotten from the dev, but they added Topaz in the game. Because Topaz and Himeko is such a strong combo because those are like a little few instances of a double DPS comp actually really being good. You get Topaz high single target damage paired up with Himeko AoE damage and like MOC with actually pretty solid. Then you have the fact that Topaz also buff follow attacks. Like if you're like a big Himeko enjoyer, again Topaz is almost like a must. And then next up is Robin because Robin is is such a powerful unit for any unit that does follow attack, because you have the follow attack increase she gives and all the damage bonus she gives, the missiles when she attacks, and like for how Robin activates for like double DPS comps, like that is just perfect for someone like Himeko, because you normally would pair she with like another character like Herta or Topaz. And speaking of Herta, like the Herta Himeko combo is like such a broken combo to the point that you rarely see it used in pure fiction, because the dev trying to like limit the use of that because how insanely broken that team is. But the Herta Himeko combo is just such an amazing team, especially for like farming. And then you have access to like other buffers that can buff your whole team. There's Asta that can increase your team's attack and speed. Tenyono is an option, but kind of single target that's only for like main DPS Himeko. But now I want to talk about Ruanmei, because she's kind of interesting, because MOC you would never use she with Himeko, because for one, then Ruanmei push it back the turn and you really get to see the shield goes up. A kind of negative synergy because you want to break shield with Himeko. But like in pure fiction, that's kind of a different scenario, because for one, then you like kill the enemy so fast, it doesn't matter if you break the shield, because of how quick you're going to take the enemy out with Himeko. You can basically get all the benefits with Ruanmei with none of the negatives in MOC. And then you have other options. There's E6 Yukong that buffs your whole team crit rate and crit damage. Like you have tons of options, but I would say like the other for you I mentioned before are much better. But yeah, that's about it for Himeko team, because since you like to play she in like double DPS comps, like she's really good in that, especially like in pure fiction, like with Topaz and Herta. So let's move on to Eidolons now.
Humanity never conceals its desire to control the heavens. I'm no exception.
Okay, but Himeko Eidolons, E1, when you use your follow attack Victory Rush, you get a 20% increase in your speed, which is pretty nice. E2, you deal 15% more damage to enemy that over 50% HP, so that's pretty solid, especially like in pure fiction, because that basically put them like in one-shot range if they trash enemies. E3 just boosts the skill and basic attack. Okay, E4 Himeko is interesting, because when you break a shield with Himeko's skill, that adds another stack, so that puts you up to 2 stacks, and I'm not sure if that puts you to 4 stack if you hit an elite or boss with that, but yeah, it gives you extra stack if you break an enemy shield with Himeko skill. E5, that's the talent ultimate, pretty nice, but E6 is really interesting to me. The ultimate basically hit 2 extra times for 40% of Himeko attack. That's just ludicrous, because you know already had that ultimate hit already. Like if you can get this passively, like that's actually pretty good to get, especially for like a DPS in pure fiction. And yeah, that's about it for the Eidolons.
Trailblazing means that every step we take is a step closer to the stars. That is my answer. And your trailblazing journey has just begun.
So like I think it's obvious with all the buff Himeko got, and she is by far like the best DPS in the standard banner by far. The kind of downside about Himeko, the fact that since she's like such an old character, like legit the first character that got released, she is very susceptible to power creep, because even though she's still very good, they can easily like just make better pure fiction units just to sell. And like newer characters coming out just feel so much more stronger and easier to feel compared to character like Himeko, Genuine, or any other character from the standard banner other than Bronya. Like you need to go the extra mile with the character if you want them to beat all the content in game. Like for now, Himeko is still a fantastic DPS in pure fiction, and if you build Himeko right, she can actually be a competitive DPS in MOC. But one thing I always say, if you love a character enough and willing to put the time and effort, you can make them beat any content in game. With like new DPS characters coming out, the bar is getting higher and higher by default. But for now, this doesn't happen yet, and Himeko still have pure fiction where she can strive. And plus, she's alive unlike a different Himeko. And yeah, that's about it, because with all that said, I think that's everything I want to talk about for this video. So thanks for watching, I do appreciate you for sure. And of course, let me know what I should do next, and let me know what you guys think, what I say. Could I read and respond to all my comments? Drop a like if you like it, dislike if you dislike it. But yeah, with all that said, take care, love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.